Okay, this video's purpose is to help you out with the worksheet on explaining and analyzing order of operations. Pretty much with this section you're going to be walking yourself through each problem and explaining what you did in each problem. And then you're going to be looking at a problem that's previously done and correcting the mistake. Okay, so real quick, a review on order of operations. We've looked at two acronyms, PEMDAS or GEMDAS. The difference between them is parentheses. Okay, you may have heard in the past, but we also talked about parentheses is a form of grouping symbols. All right. Now the grouping symbols refer to the parentheses as well as brackets, which usually encase parentheses if there's two sets, but also when we have a fraction bar. Okay, meaning if we have 3 plus 2 up top and 5 times 2 minus 1 here, with order of operations, it tells us that we have to do the numerator and the denominator separately before we can start dividing. Okay, so these are grouping symbols. Okay, and this is kind of a grouping symbol here. Alright, so let's look at what we're going to do with this worksheet. Okay, and I'm pulling examples straight from the worksheet that you could see. Okay, this is number 4 from the worksheet, and what this section tells you to do is to solve the problem and then write out your steps. Alright, so we have 2 plus 7 times 5. Now order of operations tells us that we have to do grouping symbols first. I don't see grouping symbols, so that's done. Okay. Exponents, there is no exponents. Okay. Multiplication and division. Remember, these two go hand in hand. You just do them left to right. So right here I see multiplication, so I'm going to do that first. All right. 7 times 5 is 35, and then I still have that 2 plus right there. So if I had to explain this, alright, I multiplied first. Okay, and that's all you have to do. You have to write down what operation you did in each section. Alright, and now we're just left with addition, so we're going to do 2 plus 35, which is 37. We did addition, so I'm going to write that out, and we're done. Box it up. Okay, number 7, we have 5 times 10 minus 1, and some of you will look at this and say, alright, we're going to do this. Alright, we haven't done that yet. It's the distributive property. I know you guys have done it in the past. We're going to review it again. But first, if we're looking at the order of operations, we do the grouping symbols first. So we have parentheses here. We have to work in the parentheses first. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Alright, so grouping symbols are done. No exponents. Now we got multiplication and division, which go hand in hand. We have multiplication right here. Alright, I have to go back a minute because I have to explain what I did. Subtraction in grouping. I kind of squeezed myself here because I wrote my order of operations, but we did subtracting in the grouping symbols. Alright, so now we have 5 times 9, that's multiplication, which is 45, and we're done. Okay, so here's my 2 steps. Alright, let's look at one more example. This is number 12 from the worksheet. Alright. We got, in grouping symbols, we have 5 plus 16 divided by 7 minus 2. Alright, so grouping symbols first. We're going to do 5 plus 16, which is 21. Bring everything else down. Alright, so we did addition parentheses or the grouping symbols. Alright, no exponents. Do we have multiplication or division? Yeah, we have division. Okay, we're going to divide 7 by 21. 21 by 7. There you go. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So we did division. Alright, and now we have addition or subtraction, which go hand in hand. We have subtraction. Alright, and we're finished. Alright, the second part to this is to look at an equation, fix it, and then finish it up. Okay, if I'm looking at this problem, I have 6 minus 4 times 49 divided by 7. Well, 6, I would do, if I was working on this, I would do 6 minus 4 first, which is 2, and it looks like that's correct. Okay, now I have 2 times 49 divided by 7. Alright, if you remember right, it's multiplication and addition from left to right. Multiplication and division left to right, and addition and subtraction is also left to right if you don't know which way to go. So I would have to do this first rather than the division, which it seems like they did the division here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a wrong on that one, and I'm going to fix what they should have done. They should have done 2 times 49 first. And if you don't know what it is off the top of your head, use a calculator. That's fine. Okay, or you could do 2 times 50 and subtract 2 from that. You get 98. Okay, bring everything else down. We have to still have that divided by 7. Okay, and 98 divided by 7 is 14. Okay, now if you look here, the answer is still the same. Okay, the reason being is multiplication and division have those properties we were talking about earlier, have that commutative property. Remember, if we do 3 times 2, it's the same as 2 times 3. Okay, in this case, 2 times 49 divided by 7, well, we could flip that around if we want to, but we'd have to change this divide by 7 to times 1/7, and it's the same thing as dividing by 7. Alright, that's why we get the same answer, because we could flip things around using that commutative rule with multiplication and division. Alright, let's look at another one. Let's see if we get the same answer. Here we start with grouping symbols. So we have the parentheses, okay, but we also have a fraction here. Now, since they're separated by subtraction, it doesn't matter what you do first, and it looks like they chose to do 14 first, and that's correct. And then they did the division second, so that's correct. Alright, so they worked in the grouping symbols first. Okay, the parentheses and the fraction. They could do either or. Okay, now from here to here, they subtracted. Okay, now remember, multiplication before subtraction, so this right here is wrong. What they should have done was this first, the multiplication first. 8 times 3 is 24, minus 14, and we get 10. Okay. Alright, if you have trouble with your assignment, please ask me some questions, but good luck.